It's been another strange football season for us here at St Cuthbert Wanderers. Like so many other teams, we've been unable to have a game in front of you, our fans. It's not been the same without you. We've put together a series of videos covering a variety of topics to do with your club to keep you from missing out. This is Saints Behind the Scenes. In our first video, we speak with Chairman Tracy McGarry, Club Secretary Michael McGarry and Manager Jordan Williamson about some of the changes we made at the club at the start of the season. We begin with the revamped home dressing room.
So we're here in the home dressing room, brand spanking new home dressing room. Yeah. A lot of work went in over the summer to make it happen. Just talk me through the one decision making process to change it and two then actually changing it.
That's a lot like all the changes we've made at the club, you know, because I'm from a background that I've been in all the professional environments of the academies throughout the sort of Central Belt area mainly. I've seen all these different setups, I've seen little bits and pieces from different clubs, and I felt like the fact that the club was so open to the idea of starting with a blank canvas and giving me scope to make changes to bring that professional environment here. The changing was one that I looked at and thought we could do something.
The whole thing with coronavirus gave us the opportunity to refurbish.
So we pull that forward with the intended times that we did this later than the summer. It's just obviously summer.
No, I think it was always in our plans, but the time scale that we had in a normal season, if you will, it really difficult to try and shoehorn everything we've done into that space of time, and finances come into it as well.
We were lucky enough to have a funding windfall we weren't expecting. So the decision from my point of view as chair was fairly straightforward. We've got this, we didn't expect to have this money, so let's invest it in something that we can really see the benefit of. And it's not just for us. At the end of the day, yes, we're the first team, we use it the most. But once things are back to normal again, the youth section will also have use of the facility. So it's very much about how can we make it workable for everybody.
It was always something that we were looking to do. It makes us, I say, look more professional, but it's a better surrounding for the players. And primarily that's what you want to do. You know, if you're bringing players in, you want them to come in an environment that they're comfortable in. Previously it was, some would say it was maybe just a wee bit of, very much like a school changing room. And you want to try and move away from that kind of thing.
Because it was such a blank canvas as well, because it was just the bare walls and just the bench around the outside. And looking at what we've got here, it's exactly what we were trying to bring in. You look at that around and it has that feel of a professional club. It feels like a first team changing room.
How do you feel about them now that it's all done, but also that you've had that little bit of time where intermittently players have been able to use them?
It's difficult because we've not been able to use them as a group. They've probably been used more by the opposition than by ourselves. Just again, we've got the social distancing that you have to take into account, and you're trying to split 18 players over 2 changing rooms, which is difficult when you have spent a lot of blood, sweat and tears getting them to the standard that we've got them.
There's been changes too on the training pitch. An expanded physio team are now equipped with GPS tools to help us monitor player fitness.
In terms of the GPS, we have brought in the physio team and the fitness team who are looking at the data. So the GPS data is there to back up what we're trying to put in place off the pitch by bringing in the physio team. If they've got the data and they can analyse it and make sure that our players are doing the right things, they're training at the right intensity, the right distances getting put into their training sessions, we're not overloading them, we're not going to have any injuries. The only injuries that are going to be is maybe impact injuries from tackle. And sometimes you just can't help that in football. Everybody's tailored, and all their training programs are all tailored to them individually within the squad to make sure that there's no chance of injury, or as minimal a chance of injury as possible.
I would agree it's very much a very different approach than any other teams at our level are taking, but at the same time I can see what a great benefit and what a great tool it is. I think the thing is you can then tailor the programme to everybody's age, their ability, what you need to develop, and you're really getting good quality information, and not just from a coaching point of view but also from a player point of view. They can really not just feel the benefit of the training they're doing, they can see how they're improving, and it helps to spur them on to do more. We're also in the situation where we have got a couple of younger players, and one of those younger players also happens to be insulin dependent diabetic. So it's also another way to monitor how much effort he's putting in, and thinking about the health side of it as well, making sure he's not overexerting, etc., etc. So it's some of these things that you don't necessarily straight away think about that are the major benefits that we're seeing from what we've invested in.
Lastly, we began to up our social media game, starting a partnership with the University of the West of Scotland, with their students helping you, the fans, stay up to date with the club, despite the social distance between us.
The fact that we've struck the agreement with the University of West of Scotland is great. With the changing rooms, with the GPS, with other things that we do within the club, it only felt right that we brought in this extra layer to what we're trying. Again, it gives us that level of professionalism even more.
From my point of view, I think it's great because it's getting another kind of area of the community involved, getting to see what we are doing, getting it also out to the community. So it's not, at the moment it's very difficult because obviously we can't have spectators, but we still do have people asking what's going on, what's happening, how are you getting on. So it's a great way that people can still feel that they're involved by engaging with that side of it. And it's using the ability of social media to open us out to a wider audience. When you're wanting basically to start looking at the community and saying who would like to get involved, who would like to help us raise some funds, the best thing you can do is have a presence. And nowadays it's everybody's on social media, so that's where you want to be. You want to be moving with the times, because that's where you're going to capture all the right audiences.
It's been brilliant. Again, it gives us time to focus on what we should be doing. But it gives the club a better outlet of what's happening at the club that you maybe don't get. And given that you've no supporters in, they can't see what's happening, but they can follow games on Twitter. Or I think it's been one of the better things we've done. Certainly given the situation with coronavirus.
People say it's too much in terms of it's just south of Scotland, but we're part of the pyramid and we aspire to be higher in the pyramid than what we are right now. So to be able to put these things in place now, get them bedded in, gives us a greater chance of being successful and moving forward. We know it's not going to happen overnight. We know it's not. But the main thing is, it's there and we're showing our intent. So it might take, you never know what might happen this season. It might happen next season, it might be another 2 years down the line. But we know that we're setting ourselves a challenge, we're setting ourselves a goal, and we feel like everything that we're doing at the club is all part of the jigsaw pieces to create the picture.